Ace of Spades takes the electric bike to a whole nother level. Meet the Cavet, a 28 mile per hour powerhouse electric bike with a motorcycle identity crisis. Already you can tell the bike is operating on the mini bike concept, but even that is taken in a very bold direction. This bike is an incredible deal, and you, the viewer, you can have your say in how it evolves. Seriously, this is going to be great. Let's jump in and talk about what makes the bike so much fun. The Cavett is going all out with the wolf in sheep's clothing. Legally, it's an electric bicycle, but look at this thing. It looks more like a tiny motorcycle. The frame, the seat, the bars, the headlight, it all comes together for an astounding aesthetic. The 20x4-inch tires, hub motor, and low battery give the bike an amazing sense of control with a low center of weight. The larger seat allows for more contact, and that also provides a little more hip control for steering and turning. The bike really shines as a cruiser, commuter, and maybe even some light off-road. Some of the parts on this bike stand out as great performers, and a few of them are just for show, and it might surprise you which is which. I'll be the first to tell you that sometimes bikes can be boring. I reviewed many bikes where the standout feature is the price or the color option, or maybe a combination of parts that no one's thought of yet. But the Cavet genuinely excites me because they've already made some strides in improving on the mini bike concept, and they're investing in making this bike stand out from the crowd. Maybe it's because it's on the front of the bike, or maybe it's because I'm just really excited, but the front fork is super legit. It gives more control off-road and more cushion on the pavement, and the suspension can be customized for the ride that you're performing. This is an inverted air suspension complete with preload, rebound. It even includes its own mud guards. The hub motor is decent. It's a 1000 watt peak hub drive motor with internal gearing that is using nylon and steel gears. The folks at Ace of Spades say that this patented motor is 4.3 times stronger than the competition, adding more durability. I'm not sure how they got to that number, but I'll go with them on that. Inside the battery pack is a 48 volt 20 amp hour pack rocking 21700 cells. Now, if you're not familiar, 21700 cells have a longer cycle life and can handle higher discharge rate compared to the typical 18650 cells. This makes them last longer per lifetime and better for high amp applications such as powering up a hill for a long time or carrying a heavy load. Now with the 4820 pack, easy gliding on the strong cells, I'm going to guess that on full throttle I'd see about 30 miles of range at full blast. If I was riding more gingerly, I would probably get about 60 miles, maybe even more. By the way, that's my own estimate. I'm not going off the company estimate at this point. Anyways, at some point I'd like to test the range on this bike, but there's one thing that I'm really not looking forward to on that test. It took me a minute to appreciate just how little the Cavet encourages pedaling. There's only one gear on this bike, and the small chainring with the rear cog means that you're going to max out at like 8 miles an hour without using the battery. The bike is pretty heavy, 73 pounds, but the Cavet put the game on hard mode when the seat doesn't offer a full leg extension. Actually, the game feels like it's on nightmare mode, being equipped with a comically small set of cranks. This feels like a pedal boat, if you've ever had the pleasure of being on one of those. Turning on the pedal assist will overlap the small gearing very quickly outside of level 1. So if you ride on level 2 through 5 of pedal assist, you're basically turning the throttle by tiptoeing with your feet. Now, even if the pedaling system is underwhelming, it's more than made up for with other parts. When you use the bike as intended to race around with the throttle, you'll be much happier. I know I was. The Cavet is rocking one of the best lighting systems I have ever seen on an e-bike. Most of the time you see some dinky little compliance light. A lot of mini bikes have a big headlight on them, and they're bright and all, but not like this. The Cavet lights are the best I've seen, and I really hope this kind of tech catches on. Dig this. The bike has flashing lights for applying the brakes. That's already kind of cool, but the bike also has a multi-function headlight. It's got running lights, a low beam, a high beam, and it even has these tailored. The low setting is like a sweeping beam across the horizon. The high setting is like a straight tube of light, kind of like pulling on a flashlight. Oh yeah, and did I mention the turn signals? Yeah, dude, this bike blurs the line between motorcycle and bicycle with front and rear turn signals. It even has its own instrument cluster like a motorcycle. You can tell I love these lights, but the other components on the bike are kind of easy to miss. There's a handful of parts that blend right in, and that's actually a good thing. The tires are fine, they don't really stand out, and they're not bad. Great stopping power with the dual piston 180 hydraulic disc brakes, good effort there. The handlebars are good, they're high and comfortable, and the grips match the throttle, so nice detail. The display is pretty big and it gives you all the information that you'd need. Personally, I like smaller displays, but I know that's just personal preference. The rear mudguard's pretty cool, mounts very strong, and it helps cover the spots that the frame will miss. Maybe it's because A-Spadz looks like it says Aspadz, but the seat actually matches the bike perfectly. I really like the way that the frame joins up with the seat lip. It gives it a nice clean look. The graphics plate on both sides make for a nice look, and I think I'm totally going to customize these. Boom! Done! Looks great, doesn't it? I will say that on long rides, the seat is not terribly comfortable. This is because I was hardly ever pedaling, so I really didn't use my legs to give my bottom a break. For mostly throttle riding, the Cavett from A-Spadz is a solid recommendation in the electric mini bike space. You pretty much know what you're getting into with this kind of a bike, but instead of just phony lights or pretend suspension, the Cavett delivers a motorcycle experience in an e-bike package. I've been riding my own mini bike for over a year, and I'm really excited for the advancement that Cavett has brought on. I think the A-Spadz company has a real winner on their hands, and guess what? I've got good news. If you said that this bike should be priced around $2,299, you're mostly correct. Right now, if you go to their Indiegogo page, you can get in on the super early bird price on the Cavett for $1,499. If you can get in on that level, it's a fantastic deal. Regularly, early bird is still at $1,899, and I'm still going to say that's a good deal as well. After the campaign is done, it'll go back to that $2,300 figure. Still very competitive and definitely worth considering if you're in the mini bike market. But there's one last bit to the story. The Cavett bike is coming from the A-Spadz brand, an unknown brand until now, and a total wild card. Get it? Card? A-Spadz. But for real though, A-Spadz is a pet brand of the Domlin Group. They have been making e-bikes for many years across the world and producing for the bike industry since 1996. Following the international market, most of their business is entry-level bikes for Europe, China, and Australia, but their exclusive American brand is A-Spadz, and they want to have some fun, and these will be their best bikes. And hey, to sweeten the deal, they have committed to improve upon the platform. I would very much encourage you to leave a comment in this video because they will be reading them and taking your suggestions into the next bike, possibly the next production run. Let me know if you have your sights on this or other mini bikes and how they compare. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on later.